Hey you, when I went on my quest to find the worst zombie movie, I stumbled upon Zoombies, a movie about a zombie infection that takes over a zoo, but it only affects the animals. Probably not the worst zombie movie ever made, to be fair, but oh my god, it sucked. At the end of that movie, there was a little haha teaser that showed there is a Zombies 2. Also, if you haven't seen the first video, go watch it so you can get a little context. Zombies 2, released in 2019, a full 3 years after the first one, has the lovely description: after a herd of zombie animals attack, a team of game rangers must join forces with a group of poachers to stop the deadly virus from spreading. I know sequels are never as good as the original, like, ever, but this movie genuinely makes no sense. It's not even a sequel. You'll see what I mean, but it's not even a sequel. I can't believe that I took time out of my day to watch this movie. And if you want more Prisk ramblings, you can head over to the Patreon that just got released. Woo! I'm gonna be posting full movie watch-alongs as well as a bunch of other stuff, so if you want to watch the movie with me, go head on over there. After this video. Okay, back to the video. Zoomies opens up late at night with a wonderful new cast of characters, one of which parachutes in for some reason. That's kind of cool. Anyways, we've got Jazelle, the parachuter. We've got Toronto, the guy that doesn't use a parachute. Lainey, the camera lady, and the other dudes who have no names because they will not live for very long. If you didn't guess already, these guys are poachers. Ah! They never set a specific location for this like zoo animal rescue place, whatever it is, I don't know, but it really looks like some random Midwest countryside, like in Michigan or like Ohio or something. Wherever it is, I don't know. It's definitely not shot in Africa, I can tell you that much. The poachers arrived to kill the animals and sell them as poachers do, but instead of guns that would ruin the hide, Jazelle, our resident chemist of the group, has made a special concoction that will drug the shit out of the animals and make them really easy to capture, right? Hey, I wonder if this is for... They pull up on Timon, who's screaming out, and oh my god, that dart is huge. What the hell?
And the tiny dart tip penetrates the skin without damaging it.
Yeah, maybe if you're shooting a whale, that dart is like the size of the meerkat. What are you talking about, lady? Doesn't penetrate the skin. It's gonna penetrate all of him. Okay, that sounded weird. I'm sorry. Toronto blasts the little meerkat with this dart, and we get some beautiful CGI for it where Timon falls down, but he's not down for the count. I just want to say that looked like a visual in those early 2000s music videos. I'm really blanking on a specific example, but I know I've seen that before. I know I've seen that before. The poacher gang splits up to go get some pelts, and I'm not even joking, we get a solid 20 seconds of this bush just rustling before we're hit with our title card. I just want to point out, they call this movie Zombies, but multiple times state that this is not a zoo, but is in fact a sanctuary animal rescue. So, I don't know, CinemaSins, come arrest these guys. Seriously though, they talk about it like it's a kid's show teaching you a new word.
I didn't know this zoo had this many animals. This isn't a zoo, it's a refuge. What's the difference between a refuge and a zoo? A refuge is where animals go before they go to the zoo. You'll do good to educate yourself. Yeah.
Should have called the movie Sanctuary Bees or like Zombanctuary. Maybe like, yeah, no, I think, okay, maybe Zombies 2 was the best choice. I don't know. Toronto's about to blast into the meerkat with a dart before they're suddenly surrounded by zombie meerkats. There's a whole horde of them. Is that really how big they are? Oh my god, hold on. 10 to 14 inches tall. Holy shit, I did not think they were that big. I thought they were like mouse sized. Wow. This is what the Prisk channel's really all about, you know? Learning. The poacher cannon fodder is almost immediately killed by the meerkats, and Toronto tries to make a run for it before we cut to the rear watchman listening to some chill tunes. Unfortunately for him, meerkats despise sultry yacht rock. I don't know, they really don't fuck with Kenny G, so they bite his fingers off as payment. And honestly, I have to say this is probably the best comping they do in the entire movie, because it doesn't look like they ripped it straight from a If Minecraft Was Realistic YouTube video, you know? It looks like they actually put effort into this one. We cut back over to the master poacher Jazelle, who is trying to lure in porcupines. I'm sorry, but when I think of poachers and the game that they hunt, I think of like rhinos and leopards and tigers and shit, not a porcupine, you know what I mean? Who poaches porcupines? Anyways, she tricks the baby into a cage and Mama Porcupine comes out all confused like, where the fuck's my baby? And I just want to say, Jazelle is genuinely comically evil in this movie.
Oh, don't be mad. We just took your baby, you can have more.
Like, she says that and then just blasts the mom porcupine with a giant syringe for no real reason. Why wouldn't she just take the mom too? I feel like that's more skin to take, you know what I mean? I don't know. I guess I'm not evil enough to think in the way poachers do. And I'm not even joking, about 3 minutes into them being here, they get caught by fucking SEAL Team 6. I have no idea how she didn't hear this dude sneak up on her or even see her or anything, but whatever. It was probably his camo. It blends right in. Anyways, he grabs the gun from her, and I swear to God, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. But they use CSGO and CS2 sound effects for all of the gun sounds. All of them. It's hard to prove and like show, but when they do it later, I'll show you what I mean. Mama Porcupine starts tweaking, and Jazelle gets even more comically evil.
What did you shoot her up with?
A magic potion. I'm a witch.
Is this all some kind of game to you?
Yes.
Like, lady, you're not the Joker. You shot some random ass porcupine with a giant syringe. You didn't poison Gotham's water supply. You're just a dick. We get some shots of the reservation, which is genuinely just them looking up stock video of African animals walking around. I don't know. It's kind of funny, but it's just clearly not where they shot the movie. We cut over to our head vet Brooke and her staff KD, Logan, and Ford. Our park ranger guys are bringing the poachers back to the vet lab that Brooke is chilling at, and she is super pissed at even the thought of them being there.
You bring those animal butchers back here and I will not be held responsible for my actions.
Which, honestly, fair enough. I feel like poachers are genuinely some of the most evil people on the planet, so I say let her get a few shots in, you know what I mean? Back over with Toronto and One Finger Phil, they're trying to escape the zoo, but Toronto refuses to get caught or call an ambulance or really help his friend in any way at all. He just doesn't care. He's like, I gotta get out of here, man. While they're arguing over where to go, a fucking rhino starts charging at them, and Phil decides he's gonna climb this wall with his one finger left. He's just gonna That was my representation of him climbing the wall. Unfortunately for him, as I demonstrated, this was a terrible idea, and he falls straight onto the rhino in what is quite possibly the funniest death sequence I've ever seen in a movie. I don't know, I was dying at this one. Oh my God, he's animated like a barotrauma character. Look at this. Don't ask me why that's what I thought of, but that's exactly what it looks like. You can't look at this and tell me that I'm wrong. It's the same thing. Phil is dead, and Toronto runs for the hills before cutting back to the vet. Also, I just want to point out his name wasn't actually Phil. I just called him that because it was easier. Randy made it back with the two porcupines who are absolutely tweaking in their cages. Poachers get brought in as well, and we get some more comically evil lines from Jazelle.
Jail? Been there, done that.
Welcome to the bench.
Seriously, lady, what are you, the scarecrow? Like, what is this? They lock the poachers in a storage closet, and Randy's like, maybe I should call the police now. Maybe now's a good time to call the police. Unfortunately for them, it will be about 6 hours before a helicopter can get out there. I guess they really are in the middle of nowhere, so they've got to find another way to cure these porcupines. Brooke injects his porcupine with some sort of mystery substance. I think they say what it is, but I'm not a chemist, so I don't know. Luckily, it passes out cold, and they're good. They bring the porcupines into the lab, and we get this shot.
You okay?
Yeah, it's the stress, I guess.
Which is very odd foreshadowing for later that I don't know. You'll understand what it is soon, but it's just really odd. All of a sudden, Toronto starts banging on the vet window, and now everybody's freaking out. He comes inside, and no one believes him at all, mostly because he sounds crazy, but also because he drops his pen, and they just start slamming him, saying he's high off his mind, he's zooted off his ass, and he doesn't even know what he's talking about, right? But they don't even know what the pen is. It's most likely just a weed pen, and I genuinely don't think that you can get high enough off of a weed pen to start hallucinating your friends dying to meerkats, or that like your friends are evil and you need to kill them and then blame it on the meerkats. You know what I mean? I don't think you possibly can get that high off of weed. I don't know. I don't really get what they're trying to do here. It just feels like incompetence for the sake of progressing the story, which is never fun.
I didn't kill anybody. Prove it.
Hey, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying trust him completely, don't get me wrong, but how would he even prove that his friends died to the animals? Do you want him to go find the rhino with his friend still on the horn? Like, how? What do you want him to do here? Brooke is still super convinced that something isn't right and starts to believe Toronto's killer animal statement, so she starts preparing for the worst. A little bit later, we get this line that I just thought was kind of funny.
You're not going anywhere until the chopper gets here.
What if Toronto's right? And the animals come in here and try to get us?
Then I guess you'll know what it feels like to be poached.
Is that a threat?
Yeah, it is a threat. And, like, you guys broke in and tried to kill all her animals. Of course, she's a little mad at you. I feel like a threat is a little justified, you know what I mean? And then we also get Logan drive by tonguing them. I don't know what the word's called.
Oh, we're not not done!
Randy heads out with Toronto to check on his dead friends and prove that they actually died to the meerkats, and they pull up to these anteater mounds, and it's another CSGO sound effect. I'm telling you, I swear to God, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. That was like a scout getting picked up or like switching to a gun or a bomb. I don't know what it is, but I know I've heard it before. Randy walks up to this dead body and oh, okay. What is it with zombies and animals coming out of people? Like, it's such a weird, specific thing to do. Holy shit, evil aardvark! It starts attacking one of the guys, and the other two just start unloading on it. He absolutely cannot hit this aardvark for shit. Misses like 8 shots in a row. Also, that was 100% the Nova being shot. I'm sorry. I'll stop bringing it up. But anyways, the dude is dead, and now Randy believes in the killer aardvarks. Katie and Ford, the other vets, are on this weird like B plot to drop off Rosie the hippopotamus back into the wild. It has almost no plot significance. I just thought that this shot was kind of funny.
Poor bloke didn't stand a chance.
I don't know why, but there's something about an American saying bloke that just feels wrong. It feels like they shouldn't be saying that word, you know what I mean? Brooke gives us some Breaking Bad lore drop on what Giselle gave to the animals and starts yelling at her for shooting them up with God knows what, even though she just said what it is, so I guess Brooke is God now.
Like, who cares? I care. And why? What? This planet is wasting away. I'm just trying to make some cash before we're all extinct. Stop looking at me like I'm a Judas. There's more people like me out there than you anyway.
I'm gonna go out on a crazy limb here and say that there's probably not more poachers in the world than people that like animals. You know what I mean? I feel like that one is not true. Brooke is pissed off and asks, how do I get the dart out of the gun? But the girls are like, no, we're not gonna help you. So she just starts swinging it around, pointing it at them. They're like, oh my God, please don't shoot us. Honestly though, those guys kind of suck, so I don't blame her at all for this. But eventually she gets the spiky glow stick out before we cut over to Logan, who has noticed those porcupines have escaped their cell. Logan, armed with a syringe full of piss, goes at the porcupine and yeah, it didn't end too well. Can porcupine spines even be that big? Holy shit, dude, that's like that. It was like this long. Okay, damn. So apparently some North African porcupines can have spines that are like this long. That's crazy. Oh my God. That would suck. Brooke gets chased into the hall by the porcupines, and we get this weird hiding sequence where in her infinite wisdom, she fakes out the porcupine by going to the other side of the desk after it goes to the side she was on. It's a porcupine. Just run away. Like, it cannot be faster than you. I refuse to believe that they're faster than you. It finds her and starts attacking her, but luckily before she gets got, she stabs it with the taser, fully stabs into it with the taser, and turns it on, fully fucking evaporating the porcupine completely. It's gone. I don't think those tasers can do that, but I'm not gonna question it. Maybe the virus made it more explodey. While all this is happening, by the way, the baby porcupine somehow gets into the storage room that Giselle and the camera lady are in and just starts devouring the camera woman, who I don't think she's gonna make it out of this one. She traps it in a bucket and they're finally safe, unless it chews through that too. Seriously, how did it get in this room? Like there's no hole in the door or anything. How did it get in here? Back to KD though, they're just chilling and release Rosie to the hippos before suddenly a swarm of rhinos starts chasing them down, and instead of getting in their truck, they just decide to run away. They're just like, oh shit. A bunch of rhinos. Let's ditch this Jeep and fucking run for it. Luckily, Hawk comes and picks them up, and we get this needlessly long shot of their car not starting before driving off. I don't know why it's so long, but somehow, during that entire sequence, Ford didn't get onto the truck and falls off to get crushed. Maybe it's because it was a Jeep? I don't know. That was a car joke. They start driving away, and we get the best example of the CSGO shots. I'm telling you, this is a CS Glock. You even hear the burst on the first time he shoots it. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. They eventually get away by driving their car straight off a cliff, and we cut back to Brooke. Apparently Giselle made sure that humans were immune to the syringe, so she thinks she can make a cure with it, which makes me wonder why they were so scared of getting shot with it earlier. I guess, okay, that big of a dart, it'd probably go straight through you, so I'd probably be scared too, but still, I mean, how do you even ensure that the disease is not gonna infect you guys? I don't know. Back over with the dudes, Katie, Toronto, and Hawk, who's also Randy. They really like to switch his name between the movies, so I'm gonna do that too to make it just as confusing. They keep on moving, and man, even after a car crash, the Jeep is still on one wheel on a rock. Is that like the law? Do you have to park a Jeep like that? I feel like I've never seen one not parked like that. They head out, and Toronto and KD start beefing while they're walking around. I don't know, there's something about KD. I don't think he's a bad actor per se, but his acting feels like when a Viner or a TikToker got put into a movie as a cameo, like King Batch or Lele Pons or Charlie D'Amelio or something, where it's just not as strong. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's not great. We cut back over to Brooke and Jazelle, who are working on a cure, and apparently Jazelle went to Princeton and Yale, but was a drug addict, so she became a poacher. Okay. I don't know why she didn't take the Walter White route. I would have become a drug dealer, just saying. She also somehow synthesized a cure for the zombie disease using just this microscope. I really don't know what else she didn't have anything else. There's just a bunch of beakers and a microscope. I don't really know how she did that, but I guess that's why I didn't go to Princeton or Yale. The cure is almost as important as this bombshell reveal that we get that Brooke is pregnant.
You've been nauseous before today, right? At least 2 weeks.
How do you know that?
Your blood sample gave it away.
Gave what away?
You really don't know?
I'm pregnant, aren't I?
Remember that scene from earlier? Yeah, that was a sign that she's pregnant. I genuinely, there's no reason for this to be here. This has nothing to do with anything else in the story. They only address it here and like one other time. I understand adding things just for more character development, but this feels like one that you add for a specific reason that they didn't do anything with. Oh yeah, also Toronto's getting attacked by this giant fucking snake. What is this, anaconda? That thing is the size of a small car. Like what the hell, man? This is wrong movie. Hawk goes to the left and finds 2 conveniently placed kayaks so they can make it across the water. Wow, yay! They get onto the water, somehow spawned a 3rd kayak. I didn't see it there at all, but they set sail for the other side of the river.
I get why you work so hard to protect this place.
Oh, yeah?
It really is paradise.
Dude, this is Indiana. You're in a pond. Half the Midwest looks like this. I don't know what he's talking about. At its most exotic, this is like Ireland.
Oh, all my friends hate me. We'll get along great.
Ah, great. The poacher wants to make friends while we're at a zoo, surrounded by zombie animals.
Dude, it's like
Like zoomies.
Dude, that was gonna be my line! Come on! While they're sailing across the lake, suddenly they get attacked by these evil-ass zombie hippos. If it wasn't obvious, KD is the one that's getting attacked here. And remember earlier in the video when I said this is probably the funniest death I've ever seen in a movie? This blows it out of the water, so I'm just gonna play it raw.
I saved you! I saved you! I saved you!
I don't even have words for this, but I was dying laughing when this came on for the first time. It's such a stupid death, but also the edit for it is just so bad. Like if you look carefully, you can literally see them start to stretch his body to fit the camera still. I don't know. It's so bad. Oh, and we also get this fully 3D rendered shot of him getting eaten, which is just gorgeous. Looks straight out of Jimmy Neutron. Toronto and Hawk also get knocked overboard, but luckily they make it to shore just in time to not get devoured. They eventually meet back up with Brooke and Jazelle, and we learn who the father is. No Maury show needed. It's definitely this guy. She almost reveals to him that he's pregnant. He's pregnant. Hold on. She almost reveals to him that she's pregnant before a crazy-ass zombie alligator attacks them and chases them back inside the building. They run in and barricade it up, but Jazelle lets it slip.
Barricade this door. What are you doing? It's fine. No, this is too heavy. You could hurt your baby.
Baby.
And look, I get that she's pregnant and you don't want her to get hurt or anything, but that felt like when your friend says something out loud just so other people would hear it. You know, they say something outlandish. Like in those YouTube pranks where they shout, "Wait, you're here to meet a 15-year-old girl?" And then everybody in the Walmart's like, "What?" That's what it felt like. Unfortunately, this happy moment is cut short when they hear some creaking coming from the bathroom. Hawk goes in and we get a completely unnecessary shit cam. What was EDP here? I don't know why this is here. But after that, he checks the second stall to find the giant-ass zombie crocodile alligator thing bursting through the pipes. This is genuinely the same CGI as those like Indian TikToks where they're like walking around and then the plane comes and crashes into them. I could find this crocodile right now on YouTube, I guarantee it. Editor Prisk throwing the crocodile behind me, maybe like 5 minutes. He tries to like shoot it and run out, completely misses the door, and I'd really like to think that this was not on purpose and they just left it in because they were lazy. But he runs out and tells everybody to hide in the single room office building. I don't know. Yeah, they'll never find us in here, guys. Come on. Like, genuinely, what? Jazelle says the cure only works in human blood, so she's implying that the animals have to eat them to be cured, which is honestly a pretty unique way of doing it, so I have to give them props for that. I thought that was kind of fun. She immediately undoes any props that I gave to the movie by running straight at the alligator, trying to like get around it and tripping and dying. They kill the alligator. Brooke heads in to grab the syringes, and they work out a plan to inject inject themselves and then I guess run into the animals to get bitten so they cure it, which would work for like the giraffes and the meerkats or any vegetarians. But the lion's not gonna stop biting you just because the disease is gone. He's gonna be like, oh shit, there's a dude in my mouth. Okay. Why don't they just put it in Jazelle and then throw her outside? Is that too morbid for the movie? I don't know. That feels like what you should do here. Wait, hold on. Do you guys hear that? The helicopter's here. It's been 6 hours. I'm sure that they'll actually be able to get on this helicopter and this isn't some fake out ending where the helicopter guy dies the second he lands, right? No movie's ever done that before. Yep, there it is. Okay. Toronto swipes the 3 syringes away from Brooke and injects himself with it to like try to be the hero so Brooke and Randy or Hawk or whatever you want to call him can make it out and save the baby. They do prove that the theories are correct when a meerkat bites him and turns back into normal, so now their new plan is to have Toronto ride out on a motorcycle in a blaze of glory so they can escape in the helicopter. They head up to the garage where Toronto gets on this sick-ass motorcycle and he rides off into the sunset just as planned. How beautiful. Anyways, while he does this, Brooke and Hawk make it to the helicopter and they witness all the animals turning back to normal as they devour Toronto, and they really don't care about him. They just head off. They're like, thanks, dude. See ya. Which, I mean, I guess they met him 6 hours ago, so that's not super crazy, but still, like, he just killed himself for you guys. But they fly off into the sunset too, and all seems good. Except for the 3 meerkats on board. Ah! They luckily can fight off 3 to 5 meerkats. They just like throw them off the helicopter, like throw them around. I don't know, it shouldn't be that bad, but eventually they do kick them all off and fly into tomorrow, narrowly escaping with their lives. Oh, and that baby that she has that they never really brought up or mentioned again. I don't know. But before the movie's fully over, we get one final scene.
And just so you know, I'm personally overseeing the transfer of the animals.
The lady from the first
They're gonna love
movie.
their
This
new
was
home
a
here at Eden
prequel?
Wildlife Zoo.
This was a prequel? This genuinely makes half of the first movie make no sense now. I don't know. Also, the movie's over. What a wonderfully awful movie that was. I would say I enjoyed it more than the first, but it was definitely weaker story-wise. Like, the story did not hold up, but I think it was more fun to watch. I don't know. My biggest gripe is they completely ignore the fact that once the animal turns back to normal, it's still a wild animal that would definitely start killing each other. If there's like a bunch of giraffes and a lion eating Toronto and then they all turn back to normal, the lion's gonna start attacking the giraffes. You know what I mean? Like that. They're dead, you know? Also, if this is a prequel, why does Ellen not know what the virus is or anything about it when it starts happening in the first movie? And like, why does she have to analyze it herself? Shouldn't she know exactly what happened because Brooke literally just told her on the phone? And this is a direct prequel, by the way, because she mentions on that phone call, she's like, oh, I have to go. I'm in the middle of this trainee thing, which means this call happened in the middle of the first movie. I don't know. I feel like I'm giving way more thought to the plot than the writers did, but whatever. Whatever. All in all, I had fun with this movie, and thank God there isn't a third movie because I don't think I can handle it. What was that? Oh, God damn it. Okay, I guess, I don't know, if this video gets 100 scrumbillion likes, I'll suffer through watching Aquarium of the Dead. On a serious note though, these videos are a ton of fun to make, and if you have any other wacky or just straight up bad movies, let me know. I love sifting through the mud and possibly finding some hidden gems, so I love reading the comments. And just a quick reminder, if you want to see more of my aimless ranting, head over to the Patreon. Your name will show up right here. Wow, look at that go. But with that being said, my name is Prisk. Reggie's in the back somewhere. I need to get a light for that, I know. He's still always watching, and I'll see you in jail. I'm going to jail. Bye-bye.